Every week you throw away food scraps that could feed you for free. Most people think growing food requires seeds and supplies, but after 3 decades in the garden, I know your grocery bag is full of plants ready to regrow. Today, I am sharing 17 store-bought crops you can turn into unlimited free food. Stay for number 16 to grow tropical fruit at home, plus a bonus tip that makes everything easier. The first crop on our list is green onions, sometimes called scallions. This is the easiest entry point into regrowing food because success is almost guaranteed. When you buy a bunch of green onions from the store, do not throw away the white root ends. Instead, place them in a small glass of water on your windowsill with about 1 inch of water covering the roots. Within just a few days, you will see new green growth shooting up from the top. The variety you will most often find at grocery stores is similar to evergreen hardy white, which thrives in zones 3 through 10. That means nearly everyone can grow these successfully. Once the greens reach 4 to 6 inches tall, snip what you need and leave the roots in place. They will keep regrowing for weeks. For even better results, transplant your rooted green onions into a pot of soil after they have established roots in water. Soil-grown scallions develop stronger flavor and thicker stalks. You can harvest from the same roots multiple times throughout the growing season, making this one of the most rewarding crops for beginners. The second crop worth your attention is lettuce hearts, particularly romaine. Next time you finish a head of romaine lettuce, save the bottom 2 inches where all the leaves connect. That pale base is your ticket to fresh salad greens without another trip to the store. Place the lettuce base cut side up in a shallow dish with about 1/2 inch of water. Set it somewhere with bright indirect light and change the water every day or two to prevent it from getting slimy. Within a week, you will notice small leaves emerging from the center. Romaine lettuce, sometimes called Kos lettuce, performs exceptionally well for this method and grows in zones 3 through 10. Once the new growth reaches a few inches tall and you see roots forming at the bottom, transplant the base into a container or garden bed with loose, well-draining soil. Your regrown lettuce will not form a full tight head like the original, but you will get a generous supply of tender leaves perfect for salads and sandwiches. Keep the soil consistently moist and harvest outer leaves as needed. This single base can provide fresh greens for several weeks. The third crop that practically begs to be regrown is celery. That chunky base you normally toss in the compost is one of the most reliable regrowth projects you can try. When you use up a bunch of celery, cut off the bottom 2 to 3 inches and place it, cut side up in a bowl with about 1 inch of warm water. Position the bowl in a sunny spot and refresh the water every couple of days. Within a week, tiny yellow-green leaves will sprout from the very center of the base. These will gradually darken and grow taller as the plant establishes itself. The celery variety known as Tall Utah 5270R is commonly found in stores and grows well in zones 4 through 10. Once you see roots developing underneath and the new stalks reach a few inches, transplant the whole base into rich soil with only the new growth peeking above the surface. Regrown celery stalks tend to be thinner than the original, but they carry that same familiar crunch and flavor. Use them fresh in salads or soups. With consistent watering and partial shade during hot afternoons, your single celery base can keep producing for months. Now, if you're finding this video helpful so far, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps this video reach more gardeners like yourself, who would also find this information helpful. All right, let's continue. The fourth crop on our list is garlic, and this one rewards your patience with incredible flavor. You do not need special seed garlic to get started. A single clove from a grocery store bulb can produce an entirely new bulb in your garden. Choose the largest, firmest cloves from an organic bulb when possible, since conventional garlic is sometimes treated to prevent sprouting. Plant each clove pointed and up about 2 inches deep in well-draining soil. Fall planting works best for most gardeners in zones 3 through 10 because garlic needs a cold period to develop full-size bulbs. The music variety, a popular hardneck type, produces robust flavor and stores beautifully. Throughout winter, your cloves will establish roots underground. Come spring, green shoots will emerge and grow steadily. You can snip the curly flower stalks called scapes in early summer for a mild garlic treat while the bulbs continue maturing below. Harvest when about half the leaves have turned brown, typically midsummer. Each clove you planted will have multiplied into a complete bulb containing many new cloves. Save your largest cloves from each harvest to replant in fall, and you will never need to buy garlic again. The fifth crop that deserves a spot in your kitchen garden is potatoes. Those sprouting eyes on forgotten grocery store potatoes are not a problem. They are an opportunity. When a potato develops small nubs or sprouts, it is ready to grow into a productive plant. Cut larger potatoes into chunks, making sure each piece has at least 1 or 2 eyes. Let the cut pieces dry for a day or 2 until the surface heals over, which prevents rotting in the soil. Plant each piece about 4 inches deep with the eyes facing upward. Yukon gold potatoes are commonly found at grocery stores and grow wonderfully in zones 3 through 10. As the green stems emerge and grow taller, mound soil or straw around them, leaving just the top leaves exposed. This hilling process encourages more tubers to form along. The buried stem. Keep the soil consistently moist, but never waterlogged. About 3 to 4 months after planting, when the foliage yellows and dies back, your harvest is ready. Dig carefully to unearth your potatoes without piercing them. A single sprouted grocery potato can yield several pounds of fresh new potatoes for your table. The sixth crop to consider is sweet potatoes, which bring both beauty and bounty to your garden. Unlike regular potatoes, you do not plant chunks of the tuber itself. Instead, you grow new plants from the sprouts that emerge from a sweet potato. Place a whole sweet potato in a jar of water with toothpicks holding it, so the bottom half stays submerged. Within a few weeks, leafy sprouts called slips will grow from the top. The Beauregard variety is one of the most common types found in stores and thrives in zones 3 through 11 as a warm season annual. Once your slips reach 6 to 8 inches tall with visible roots at their base, gently twist them off and place them in water to develop stronger roots. After a week or 2, transplant these slips into loose, sandy soil in a sunny location. Sweet potatoes love heat, so wait until soil temperatures reach at least 60 degrees before planting outdoors. The vines will spread vigorously throughout summer, and about 4 months later you can harvest a generous crop of sweet potatoes hiding beneath the surface. The seventh crop on our list is ginger, bringing warm spice straight from your windowsill to your kitchen. Fresh ginger root from the grocery store is actually a rhizome that wants to keep growing. Look for pieces with visible bumps called eyes, which are growth points where new shoots will emerge. Soak your ginger in water overnight to remove any growth inhibitor that commercial producers sometimes apply. Then plant the rhizome about 1 inch deep in a wide, shallow container filled with rich, loose potting mix. Position it with the eyes facing upward. Yellow ginger is the common culinary variety and grows beautifully in zones 8 through 12. For gardeners in cooler climates, ginger makes an excellent houseplant that thrives in warm, humid conditions. Keep the soil consistently moist but not soggy and provide bright, indirect light. New shoots will emerge within a few weeks, growing into tall, elegant stalks with long, narrow leaves. After 8 to 10 months, you can harvest by gently digging around the edges and breaking off what you need while leaving the main plant intact. The rhizome keeps expanding underground, giving you fresh ginger for years from a single grocery store purchase. The eighth crop that brings golden rewards is turmeric. This vibrant rhizome follows the same basic process as ginger and offers the bonus of stunning foliage. Select a fresh turmeric rhizome with visible buds or small nubs, which indicate active growth points. As with ginger, soaking overnight helps wake up any rhizomes that have been treated to slow sprouting. Plant each piece about 2 inches deep in a large container with loose, well-draining soil. Position the buds facing upward and keep the soil warm and moist. Alepi turmeric is the variety most often found at grocery stores and grows in zones 8 through 12. In cooler regions, turmeric makes a wonderful container plant that you can bring indoors before frost. The broad, lush leaves create an almost tropical appearance that adds visual interest to any space. Turmeric takes 8 to 10 months to mature fully. You will know harvest time has arrived when the leaves begin to yellow and die back. Carefully dig up the rhizomes to discover bright orange-gold roots ready for the kitchen. Reserve a few pieces with healthy buds for replanting, and your turmeric supply becomes self-sustaining. Elegant alliums offer a milder, sweeter flavor than onions and regrow beautifully from kitchen scraps. When preparing leeks for a meal, save the bottom 2 to 3 inches that include the root base. Place this root end in a glass of water with enough to cover the roots but not submerge the entire piece. Set it on a sunny windowsill and change the water every couple of days to keep it fresh. The American flag variety is what you will commonly find at grocery stores, and it grows well in zones 3 through 10. Within a week, you will notice new green growth emerging from the center. Once the new leaves reach several inches tall and roots have developed more fully, transplant your leek into deep, rich soil. Leeks appreciate consistent moisture and benefit from hilling soil around their stems as they grow, which creates those tender white shanks prized in cooking. Your regrown leek will not reach the same size as commercially grown ones, but it will provide a steady supply of flavorful greens and usable stalk. Keep harvesting outer leaves as needed while the plant continues producing from the center. The 10th crop on our list is bok choy, a fast-growing green that practically regrows itself. This mild, crunchy vegetable is a staple in stir-fries and soups, and regrowing it could not be simpler. When you cut off the leafy portions for cooking, save the bottom 3 inches of the base. Place this base cut side up in a shallow dish with about an inch of water. Find a spot with bright light and refresh the water every day or two to prevent bacteria from building up. Joy choy is a popular hybrid variety often found in stores, and bok choy in general thrives in zones 3 through 10. New leaves will begin sprouting from the center within just a few days, making this one of the fastest regrowth projects you can try. Once roots develop at the bottom and the new leaves are a few inches tall, transplant into moist, fertile soil. Bok choy prefers cooler weather and will bolt quickly in summer heat. So spring and fall are your best seasons for outdoor growing. In warmer months, keep containers in a shaded location. Harvest outer leaves continuously or let the plant mature for a fuller head. The 11th crop that belongs on your regrowing list is basil from cuttings. Those fresh basil stems you buy at the grocery store are ready to become full, productive plants with very little effort. Select stems that are at least 4 inches long and look healthy and vibrant. Remove the lower leaves from each stem, leaving just a few leaves at the top. Place the stems in a glass of water, making sure no leaves are submerged where they could rot. Genovese basil is the classic Italian variety most commonly sold fresh in stores. While it grows as a perennial in zones 9 through 11, gardeners everywhere can enjoy it as an annual or indoor plant. Set your glass in a warm spot with bright indirect light and change the water every few days. Roots will begin appearing within a week or two. Once the roots reach an inch or longer, transplant your basil into pots or garden beds with well-draining soil. Pinch off the top leaves regularly to encourage bushy growth rather than tall, leggy stems. Each pinched tip can go right back into water to root more plants. One package of grocery store basil can easily become dozens of thriving plants throughout the season. The 12th crop that practically grows itself is mint from cuttings. If you have ever bought fresh mint for a recipe and watch most of the bunch go to waste. This method solves that problem forever. Take stems that are 4 to 6 inches long and strip the leaves from the bottom half. Place these stems in a jar of water on your kitchen counter or windowsill. Spearmint is one of the most common varieties found in grocery stores and grows vigorously in zones 3 through 11. Roots will appear within days, often faster than any other herb you can propagate this way. Mint is so eager to grow that it borders on aggressive once established. Transplant your rooted cuttings into containers rather than directly into garden beds unless you want mint spreading everywhere. A pot with drainage holes and regular potting soil is all mint needs to thrive. Keep the soil moist and provide partial to full sun. Harvest frequently by cutting stems just above a leaf node, which encourages the plant to branch out and produce even more growth. From a single grocery store package, you can create an endless supply of fresh mint for tea, cocktails, salads, and desserts. The 13th crop worth your attention is cilantro, grown from roots. While cilantro has a reputation for bolting quickly and frustrating gardeners, regrowing from store-bought bunches offers a shortcut to fresh leaves. Many grocery stores sell cilantro with the roots still attached, and those roots are your key to success. Trim off the leafy stems for immediate use in cooking, leaving about an inch of stem above the roots. Place the roots in a shallow glass of water, just enough to cover the root portion. Calypso cilantro is a slow bolt variety often found in stores and grows as an annual in zones 3 through 11. Change the water every couple of days and watch for new growth emerging from the center within a week. Once you see fresh leaves and stronger root development, transplant into a pot or garden bed with light, well-draining soil. Cilantro prefers cooler temperatures and will bolt to seed quickly in summer heat. For a continuous harvest, keep your plants in partial shade during warm months or grow them indoors near a bright window. Harvest outer leaves regularly to extend the productive life of each plant and delay flowering as long as possible. The 14th crop on our list is fennel, specifically the Florence bulb type with its sweet anise flavor. When you trim a fennel bulb for cooking, that leftover base still has life in it. Save the bottom inch or two where the layers connect and the small root nubs remain. Place this base in a shallow dish of water, cut side up, and position it in a sunny spot. Change the water every couple of days to keep things fresh. Zephafino is a popular Florence fennel variety found at many grocery stores and grows in zones 3 through 10. Within a week or so, you will see delicate feathery fronds emerging from the center of the base. These fronds are completely edible and carry that same distinctive licorice taste fennel lovers enjoy. Once roots develop underneath, transplant your fennel into deep soil since it produces a long taproot. The regrown plant will not form a large bulb like the original, but it will provide an ongoing harvest of flavorful fronds perfect for salads, fish dishes, and garnishes. Let some plants flower and go to seed, and you will have fennel pollen and seeds to use in your cooking as well. The 15th crop that surprises many gardeners is carrot tops. Now, regrowing carrots from kitchen scraps will not give you new full-sized roots, but it will give you something equally valuable. The leafy green tops that sprout from a carrot base are completely edible and wonderfully flavorful. Cut the top inch off your grocery store carrots, keeping a bit of the orange root attached to the green stem area. Place these tops cut side down in a shallow dish with just enough water to cover the bottom of the carrot piece. Nantes carrots are a common variety in stores and grow in zones 3 through 10. Set your dish in a bright location and refresh the water regularly. Within days, new ferny green growth will emerge from the center. These carrot greens taste similar to parsley with a mild carrot undertone. Use them in salads, pesto, chimichurri, or as a fresh garnish. While the original root will not regenerate, you can transplant the sprouted top into soil for a longer-lasting supply of greens. Keep snipping the outer growth, and the plant will continue producing fresh leaves for weeks. It is a simple way to get more value from every carrot you buy. The 16th crop brings a taste of the tropics right to your home, and that is pineapple tops. This is the project I mentioned at the start, and it is easier than most people imagine. Next time you buy a fresh pineapple, twist or cut off the leafy crown at the top. Remove the lower leaves to expose about an inch of the stem and let it dry for a day or two so the cut end heals over. Then place the crown in a glass of water, submerging just the bare stem portion. Smooth cayenne is the variety most commonly sold in grocery stores and grows in zones 9 through 12. Roots will slowly develop over several weeks. Once you have a healthy root system, transplant your pineapple into a large container with sandy, well-draining soil. Pineapples tolerate drought well, but need warmth and bright light to thrive. In cooler climates, grow your pineapple as a houseplant near a sunny window. Here is the exciting part. With proper care, your plant will eventually produce a new pineapple fruit. It takes 2 to 3 years. But watching that familiar spiral fruit form from a kitchen scrap you would have thrown away is incredibly rewarding. The 17th and final crop on our list is the common bulb onion. Those onions sitting in your pantry that have started sprouting are not past their prime. They are ready for a second life in your garden. When an onion develops green shoots from the top, it is telling you it wants to grow. You can plant the entire sprouted onion in soil, or cut off the bottom inch that contains the root plate and plant just that portion. Yellow Stuttgarter is a widely available variety that performs well in zones 3 through 10. Plant your onion base or whole sprouted onion with the green shoots above the soil surface. Water consistently and provide full sun. The green shoots will continue growing and can be harvested like scallions for a mild onion flavor in cooking. If you planted a whole onion, it may eventually divide and form new smaller bulbs underground. Even if full bulb production is limited, the continuous supply of fresh green onion tops makes this project worthwhile. Every sprouting onion in your kitchen represents free food waiting to happen rather than waste headed for the trash. And now for the bonus tip gardeners swear by. If you want to speed up root development on any of these regrowing projects, try using a willow water solution. Willow branches contain a natural rooting hormone that encourages faster and stronger root growth. Simply cut a handful of young willow twigs into small pieces and soak them in water for 24 to 48 hours. The resulting liquid becomes a gentle rooting tonic you can use instead of plain water when starting your scraps. Place your lettuce bases, green onion roots, or herb cuttings in this willow water and watch how quickly they respond. This old gardening trick costs nothing if you have access to a willow tree and works remarkably well across all kinds of plant cuttings. Even grocery store scraps root faster and develop more robust systems when given this natural boost. It is the kind of simple secret that turns a good regrowing project into a great one, and it uses something most people would never think to try.